It's your boy Charles on this world. We are checking out the late great Mobb Deep's Prodigy, his biography, My Infamous Life. You can check it out on Audible. Let's go ahead and play chapter 11. I'm gonna come back with my reaction. Hit that thumbs up button.
Chapter 11, America's Nightmare. Yeah, you heard of him. Big ignorant chains and sports cars, gallons of Bacardi Bennett the awards. I need a bitch like Christina Aguilera for a broad. I know I can splack that. She dying for a thug and she heard of me. She know about my infamous life. Shootouts in New York of various types. Fast money, faster guns. We party every night. When you hit her. Alchemist played a new beat for me at his crib as we were putting the finishing touches on America's Nightmare. He sampled the 80s hit, She Blinded Me with Science, transforming it into a hardcore club banger. The beat was so hot that we played it for Havoc and immediately wrote a song called Got It Twisted to add to the new album at the last minute. We always came up with the hottest songs for our albums at the last minute. As soon as Chris Lighty and Jive heard Got It Twisted, they wanted to shoot a video and use it for the official first single. Jive wasted no time. Director Benny Boone shot the video in Los Angeles. When the video came out, we got a call to do a small tour in Europe, including a festival in Sweden with all rock acts. Mobb Deep and Busta Rhymes were the only rappers. Havoc and I released a mix CD called The West Coast Mixtape, hosted by DJ Big Mike, featuring us rapping over Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Mac 10, Ice Cube, Sugar Free, and other West Coast rappers' tracks. As soon as we arrived at the hotel in Sweden, swarms of kids were waiting for us. Alchemist and I went for a stroll to check out the scene. Two little blonde kids, no more than 8 years old, walked up and started rapping. I didn't realize it at first, but when I listened, I realized they were reciting my rhymes from the West Coast Mix CD that we just released no more than a week before. Yo, do you hear what they're saying? Alchemist said. That's from the West Coast CD. Yeah, I know. How do y'all know them lyrics, shorty? Alchemist asked. My brother got it off the internet, one of them said. Do you want to meet my brother and his friends? They got a lot of girls they can hook you up with. We laughed and told him to get his brother. That was the first time I realized the power of the internet. Within a week, this little 8-year-old Swedish kid knew a verse by heart, word for word, that I had just written and recorded. It was amazing. Seeing the people in Sweden for the first time was also amazing. Nothing but blonde-haired, blue-eyed females all over the place. 5 minutes later, the two kids came back with a crew of dudes in their early 20s. When they saw Alchemist and me, they started repeating more of my lyrics and some of their own rhymes. We posed for pictures with them on their camera phones, then Alchemist and I walked around to check out more of Sweden. At around 11 that night, we took the stage at the Busta Rhymes. An hour into our performance, I saw something unbelievable. The sun started shining, and it slowly became daytime all over again, shortly after midnight. From midnight until 8 o'clock the next night, it was full sunshine. I felt disoriented, like I was on drugs. In the hotel lobby after the show, Alchemist and I saw the two little kids again. It was 2 a.m., but the sun was shining bright. Hey, you want to see something crazy? The chubbier blonde kid asked. What? I asked him. I guess these kids' parents let them stay out because it still looks like it's daytime. And what are y'all still doing out? They ignored the question and led us into the hotel business lounge, where there were complimentary computers and faxes for guests. Watch this, the skinnier blonde kid said, as he started quickly typing on a computer keyboard. Suddenly, the power went out through the entire hotel. Yo, this little bastard's some type of computer hacker. I just shut them down, he said, laughing. It'd take them a long time to figure out what happened. Y'all some little troublemaking motherfuckers, huh? I said. Let's get out of here before they blame us for this. I'm gonna hire you guys for our Swedish street team, Alchemist told the kids, taking their phone numbers in the lobby. They were happy. After Sweden, we toured Switzerland, Norway, and Poland, and our last stop was Amsterdam, Holland, home of the world-famous red light district and legal marijuana. I filmed everything on a camcorder for our infamous Allegiance DVD. Walking through the red light district, Derek, our man from high school, was filming all the prostitutes in the windows, who closed the curtains when they saw the camera. One prostitute saw Derek filming and ran out the glass door trying to hit Derek, calling him a nigger. Back in New York, I went to the violator management office while making my usual rounds in Manhattan. 50 Cent arrived 5 minutes later and Busta Rhymes was also there. We kicked it for a few minutes. Mona Scott, one of Chris Lighty's partners, called me into her office and asked me to consider co-starring in a straight-to-DVD film called Full Clip, along with Busta Rhymes, Exhibit, Bobby J. Thompson, and Tiny Lister, better known as Debo from the movie Friday. The script was basically a rewrite of Bucktown, the old 70s film starring Fred Williamson, of whom I was a big fan. So I signed on to the project. Filming would begin in a few months, so I had time to memorize my lines. 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying debut studio album was selling like crack, over 10 million copies. He became the biggest selling rap artist next to Eminem and Nelly from St. Louis. Atlanta rappers were also on the rise. Outkast had sold millions of albums. T.I. was on the come up, while Ludacris and Lil Jon were popular across the country at that time because they offered a new energy. 50 took full advantage of how hot he was by hooking up with Jay-Z, who plugged him in with Reebok to create a G-Unit sneaker. 50 also started a label imprint, G-Unit Records, signed West Coast rapper The Game, and planned to release a G-Unit Crew album with his artists Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and Young Buck. He created G-Unit Clothing with Mark Echo. He was doing all the things that we should have done as soon as we became famous, except we were too young and foolish. In life, you have a small window to take advantage of opportunity, and if you're slow to move, the window will close. But Havoc and I are a rare breed. Our position as the most infamous is permanent, and Mobb Deep will forever be hot no matter what. All we have to do is do what we do. We pay close attention to the music industry, but we don't get caught up about anybody's success. Be yourself to the best of your ability, and your possibilities will be infinite. I finally released the Murder Music DVD through Koch Films. It felt like a huge mission accomplished to see it on shelves. My Titanic was on the market now. Havoc and I had a huge album release party on the night that America's Nightmare was released. Hundreds of people were lined up outside because the spot was at capacity and the fire department threatened to shut us down. The Game, The Lox, Black Thought from The Roots, Tretch from Naughty by Nature, Raekwon from Wu-Tang, M.O.P., many actors, comedians, and rappers showed up. There was a freestyle cypher on stage before our special performance. We were popping so much champagne and Hennessy that when it was time to perform, I was twisted. When Survival of the Fittest came on, I spit the lyrics for Shook Ones. Ron Artest was on stage with us, and Havoc was looking at me like I was crazy. Despite that error, the turnout confirmed that the world was still hungry for that Mobb Deep sound. Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch from The Lox squeezed through the VIP area after the show to show some love. It was extremely crowded, so Havoc and I stood up on the couch to get some breathing room. Havoc spotted a video vixen he used to mess with named Erica, a good-looking Latina female who rode in the passenger seat of Fabulous GT Bentley in the Breathe video. Hav pulled her up onto the couch where we were standing when he spotted another one of his chicks. "Keep an eye on Erica," he told me as he headed toward the other woman. "Alright, cool," I said. Erica was just as twisted as I was, and Havoc was gone for a long time. So I grabbed her in front of me, my arms wrapped around her waist, my hands at the front of her black cocktail dress. "What's really good, Ma?" I whispered in her ear. "Whatever," she said. I put my hand up the front of her dress and started finger popping her right there on the couch in front of everybody. She ain't had no panties on. "You coming with me," I said. "Let's go." "Cool, I'm with you," she said. I took her hand and led her to the exit. As we were walking to the parking lot, Havoc rolled up in his G-Wagon Benz. "Erica, get over here," he shouted. "Chill, son, we see you later on," I yelled. But Havoc demanded that she get into his truck. Erica let go of my hand and bounced with half. Wow, the vultures were out that night. I know Kiki's reading this saying, good for you. After a couple of months of preparing and rehearsing my lines, I flew to Los Angeles to film Full Clip with Busta Rhymes, Exhibit, and Tiny Lister. The production people set me up in a room at Le Meridien in West Hollywood for 2 weeks. I played an ex-Marine sniper called into town by Exhibit, who also played an ex-Marine, to take over a small town alongside Tiny Lister and Busta Rhymes' hype man Spliff Star. I learned a lot from an on-set acting coach as well as Tiny Lister, who schooled me onto the inside information about Hollywood. The entire movie, which was very low budget, was shot in an old hotel downtown Los Angeles, with tons of homeless people in makeshift tents and cardboard refrigerator boxes on the sidewalk. On set, Tiny flipped out on the production crew if they made him wait more than 5 minutes to shoot his parts. He acted just like Debo from Friday. "That's how you gotta do these fools, Prodigy." Tiny pulled me to the side and said, "You gotta remind them that you're a professional. Look at them. I bet they won't ever call me on my trailer again unless they sure they ready." And they didn't. Across the street from the hotel, the production crew rented a parking lot with 5 trailers for the main actors. Busta Rhymes and Exhibit's trailers were the biggest and most modern, with a queen-size bed, full bathroom, kitchen, dining area, dressing room, and a living room with TV, stereo, and games. Mine was a small trailer with a 3-seated couch, makeup mirror, and bathroom. Split Stars was right next to mine. We smoked and talked in each other's trailers and became real cool. There's a scene where he and I get into an argument while playing pool, and Tiny Lister breaks us up before we start fighting. We had to act serious, but kept busting out laughing. After the first day of filming, I called Kiki. She said she wanted to fly out to spend a week with me. She'd never been to California. The next day on set, I saw this kid Sean, one of the best tap dancers in my grandmother's dance school, whom I hadn't seen since I was 13. He'd become an actor and was playing a cop in the movie. Alchemist and Twin were in town, and we were chilling in Exhibit's trailer after wrapping up for the day. Exhibit said he was taking acting seriously and had a lot of scripts coming his way. He had just gotten a script for another movie called Gridiron Gang, starring The Rock. Exhibit was our loud label mate for years, so we've hung out on several occasions. He invited us to his crib. Alchemist had somewhere to go, but Twin and I hopped in Exhibit's Hummer to his modern, multi-level house in the hills. We played video games in the living room and met Exhibit's son and his woman. Busta Rhymes showed up an hour later, along with Paul Rosenberg, Alchemist and Eminem's manager. Exhibit, who was the host of MTV's Pimp My Ride, took us into his garage and showed us his 6'4" Impala lowrider. The next day, I strolled around the Beverly Center Mall with 40 Glock and his boys, buying white tees and sneakers and checking out ladies. A petite, light-skinned female with blonde hair, a sun visor, and a tennis skirt so short you could see her panties was going up the escalator. I left the group of 12 dudes I was with and went up behind her. When we got to the top, I asked her name. "Keisha," she said. Keisha was beautiful. When I was typing her number into my phone, 40 Glock and all the homies walked up. Keisha got a little nervous, but then she realized they were with me and calmed down. I called Keisha as soon as we got back to the room. 40 Glock kept saying that I should have brought her back with me. What's up? It's P. Where you at? On my way back to the studio, Keisha said. I've got a session today. What, do you rap or something? What you do? I asked. I sing. I'm doing a song for the Barbershop 2 soundtrack. You should come hang out with me over here. A word? We just did a song for that soundtrack. I got a group called Mobb. Yeah, I know who you are, she said. Come to my studio session so you can hear my songs. Damn, I can't. I'm doing a movie out here and I gotta breeze by the set soon. Why you don't stop by my hotel so we can kick it before your session? Can't. I'm late. Why don't you stop by before you go to the movie set? We went back and forth on the phone a few times that day, but that was all. After the first week of filming, I flew in my lady Kiki to be with me. Kiki got out the cab from the airport and walked through the trailer parking lot in a tight jogging suit that you could almost see through. Split Star and others were trying to talk to her because they didn't know she was coming to see me. She knocked on the trailer door and we hugged and kissed. She told me right away about everybody who tried to talk to her on her way in. Kiki always told me when people I know try to talk to her. It didn't bother me at all because Kiki's so beautiful that every man alive would try if he had enough heart. I enjoyed it. It meant I was doing something right. I knew Kiki probably had her little things on the side, but she was serious only about me. The other fools were just for play. Even though I messed around with a lot of other women while I was with my boys, I turned down the baddest female to stay with my woman because I loved her. Those other females were meaningless. Kiki watched me on the set that day. Then we took it back to the hotel. The next morning, after room service breakfast, I saw Split Star in the lobby. He told me the front desk had been robbed the night before. 2 dudes with shotguns rushed the hotel office and stole a few $1,000s. After sharing that story, Split told me that Cameron was out front. Cameron was standing outside with his man Jim Jones. I hadn't seen Cam since we did Losing Weight together. I was wearing a white and pink striped polo shirt I bought from my man Keith's store in Harlem. White shorts, white felines, and my infamous Records 40-inch chain. Cam introduced me to Jim and told me that he saw my movie Murder Music and liked it. I didn't want to leave Kiki by herself for too long, so we talked briefly. I said peace to Cam and Jim and went back upstairs. It seemed like after Cameron saw me rocking my pink polo shirt, he went pink crazy. I was known to throw on a pink polo shirt every now and again since 1989. I went to high school in Manhattan with a lot of Brooklyn dudes who were in gangs like Decepticons and Lowlives. That's where the trend of hood niggas rocking pink started. Brooklyn dudes wore pink polo sweaters, purple, orange, and yellow. Brooklyn motherfuckers loved polo when I was in high school. I just kept the trend going in 2003. Now maybe it's just a coincidence, but I never saw Cameron wear pink before that day in LA. A few days after Kiki left to get back to our kids, we finished filming. Alchemist, Twin, and I drove to Las Vegas to chill for a few days before flying back to New York. But before we hit the highway for Vegas, we stopped at Alchemist's homeboy, Mr. Cartoon's tattoo and car shop to get my first Mr. Cartoon tat. I wanted half an angel, half a demon on the back of my neck, I told him. On our way to Vegas, we drove through the Death Valley Desert, where the average temperature is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But as we drove through, we saw snow all across the desert. Yes, snow. It was extremely rare for it to snow in Death Valley. I took it as a sign that major changes in our lives were about to take place. We checked into the Hilton Hotel and Casino. Alchemist was a crap table junkie. He taught me how to play. I'm not a gambler because I don't like giving away my money, but sometimes I blow a few thousand hoping to win. Not on that trip. I turned $300 into $800 playing the dollar slots, kept gambling, and ended up with $280. Alchemist was another story. That boy stood at the crap table for 8 hours straight, winning and losing, losing and winning, with a crazed zombie look on his face. Back home, our new album was doing well, but Jive suddenly didn't want to give us control of the marketing and promotion budget. I had a list of promotional items that I wanted to give away at our concerts and other events, but the marketing team didn't seem excited about the album anymore. America's Nightmare sold roughly 400,000 copies and was creeping its way to gold. So it was strange to see that Jive was losing interest so fast. But Jive was used to selling millions of albums with Britney Spears, R. Kelly, NSYNC, and others. Mobb Deep was small-time sales compared to their major selling artists. I was really upset with Jive and Chris Lighty because I had the know-how to help America's Nightmare sell triple the amount that it sold. All I needed was my marketing and promotion plan approved and for Jive to cut the check. This was a clear sign that the deal wouldn't last long. I miss Loud Records and Steve Rifkin. Steve understood the power of street promo. Not corporate promo, street promo. Together we understood our core audience and exactly how to reach them. Oh well. We had to make the best of the hand we were dealt. It was 3 a.m. and I just made the 40-minute drive home from our Queens studio to Rockland. Kiki and the kids were fast asleep, and I was tired but couldn't fall asleep. I hooked up my son's PlayStation to my bedroom TV and played Freedom Fighters until heaviness crept under my eyelids at 4:30 a.m. It was a crisp, clear night, so I could see the stars and the moon from the large window next to our bed that looked down on the whole block. Our mountaintop home was the highest on our block. We didn't have curtains or blinds covering that window because nobody could see in. We could see out. Suddenly, all the power went out. I looked out the window and saw that the whole block was blacked out, so I decided to go to bed. As I lay down next to Kiki, a bright white light beamed into our bedroom window. It looked like a police helicopter's searchlight, except it was silent. Oh shit, are the police looking for somebody over here? Kiki, get up. I reached over to wake Kiki. Look at this shit. The bright white beam began changing colors. Red, yellow, green, blue, orange, repeating randomly. Do you see this shit? I asked. What the fuck is that? Kiki said. Do you see this shit? Yes. Go look out the window and see what that is, she said. I'm not going near that window. I knew what it was. A UFO was hovering over our crib, shining light beams into our bedroom. Holy shit.
Anyway, y'all, this is Prodigy's My Infamous Life. It's a good book, man. It's actually a pretty good audio book. Y'all can check it out on Audible or Spotify if y'all want to hear the rest of it. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna play the rest of it. Damn, Prodigy seeing UFOs and shit. I want to see what I'm gonna play the other part some other time. So that's why I need you to subscribe. So when I play it, you can check it out. But UFOs and Mobb Deep, interesting. Anyway, hit the thumbs up button, guys, and leave your comments and subscribe to Charles on His World. Appreciate it.